Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Flea and I are back as we continue our journey into horror anime with Demon City Shinjuku, directed by Yoshiaki Kawajiri. A young swordsman and the daughter of a political messiah enter the ravaged Shinjuku, Tokyo, to stop a madman from opening a portal to the world of demons. Well, Flea, welcome back, and I suppose we were having too much of a good run, weren't we?
Yeah, you did say you wanted something bad. I
Yeah,
mean,
the dice rolls had to get those ones.
yeah, no, I know exactly what this man needs to say.
Oh dear. This
There's there's
is
there's worse howlers than this. Oh, believe me.
oh, I'm well aware. Most of them are on Netflix or oh god, no, actually Amazon anime is the worst. Netflix try sometimes. If you ever
Yeah,
look the shit
yeah.
on Amazon, you're like, oh why?
I'm gonna have to check Amazon now. I really am.
Oh, they're terrible. They're awful. But yeah, so we start off, we've got this fight scene. And I was legit expecting honestly it was Connor McLeod and the Kurgan. That's all I could think of.
You can kind of feel the Highlander. It's like obviously whoever animated this, they were a massive fan of the Highlander movie.
Oh, there's loads of like the lightning, the blue lightning, and everything else, and there's the demons themselves, the sort of spirit demons, which is, I just automatically thought of the quickening. They've nicked everything from the movie.
It's, didn't see any kilts though. They've left that one behind.
Mm-hmm. It's very tame for a horror movie.
It it is what it is like late 80s. So it's like good God, the damn thing's 40 years old nearly.
Yeah, but we've watched stuff just as old. I
Also,
believe.
it's yeah, I can see that. It's not the most visceral of horrors, is it? In fact,
No.
there's very little in it.
Yeah, there's a few shock scenes of here's about a blood and gore, just so you know it's a horror movie, but there's no atmosphere. There's no horror atmosphere. There's a lot going on. Like there's loads of different plot lines that are randomly tied together.
And most of which aren't even answered.
No, it's just left there, and yeah, the main story and the main protagonist aren't very likable.
No. Oh God, what's his name? Kyoto, the main character. Yeah, he's a bit of a character, isn't he?
It's strange because he's a complete arse, but also you see that he takes like kids in a martial arts club, for Campo and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's a bit of a chip on his shoulder, but he's also trying to be the hero, or he just randomly decides to be the hero, but he's no motivation.
No, it's like the whole reason he decides to be a hero is because he decides to follow the female lead into the demon city of Shinjuku, which, because of the fight at the beginning, now kind of has this huge crevice moat thing running around it, apart from one of the bridges that didn't break.
I just love the way everyone just casually accepts there was a demon fight and a cut off part of the city, and they just go, meh, that's a thing now.
It's kind of like people in Tokyo must just be like really, really easygoing.
Must be.
Yeah, it's happened now. It's like, shall we try and fill the hole in? Nah, better not.
Why leave the bridge up?
I don't know. It's like there's just this one half wrecked bridge going across this huge moat.
But apparently they've sent the army, they've sent tanks, they've sent all sorts across, and nobody's ever come back like unscathed, and they kept the bridge up. And you're like, no, don't do that.
Luckily though, the hero has turned up and he's going to sort it all out for us.
Yeah. So we'll have this fight scene, and
you enjoyed that fight
Rod
scene so much. Come on,
Reb Riding Hood or whatever the hell you call him.
Rebby Raw and
Rebby Raw.
what's the father's name? Genchiro.
Genchiro, yeah. Anyway, Red Riding Hood and Genchiro are fighting away.
Red Riding Hood and Gymkhana.
And And obviously he says loud enough for the entire city to hear, Master, give me 10 years and I'll create a hell you'll love. That was such a weird thing. Like, the
It,
pit tried to be taken over
Mm,
there and then.
yeah. It's the kind of thing you hear in Warhammer 40k. Chaos. We do it for chaos.
Blood for the blood god.
I'm doing it for my master because I love him, and I'm going to turn like Earth into a hell. Just give me 10 years.
But it was like, hold on, I need to put some. It's not quite ready yet, boss. I've got some plush cushions and all to put down. Like,
So I haven't quite finished tiling the bathroom wall yet.
yeah.
Can you come back in a couple of years?
We'll have Floaty Dude as well. Like, this is something out of Dragon Ball Z. This is put together.
But was it an insult to Dragon Ball Z there?
I'm not a fan, so
I'm not doing it, to be honest, but it was better than this.
But you can kind of see it. So they know they've got 10 years. So what do we do? Wait until 3 days before.
Yeah, because that makes perfect sense. I mean, do you think that, like, do you know what we're going to do about this demon problem in Shinjuku? I don't know. We could, like, firebomb it, drop a nuke on it, or just leave it.
Cut the bridges down and just level the place. If they've already sent tanks and stuff, and they know whatever's in there can destroy tanks, and that the people are basically toast anyway,
it's like how did the army go? Oh, they were completely wiped out to the man. Let's ignore it then.
Yeah, let's go back and carry on with life.
It's like you see that bit at the beginning. By the time you get to the end of the film, you're still scratching your head over it. Why did they leave it? Why is this like high school scare? Why is this like 16, 17, 18-year-old kid with a wooden sword got to sort it all out?
Yeah. Thing is, as well, what doesn't help is I've watched all the Godzilla movies.
There's
every time Tokyo goes into overdrive right to the last second, and it does nothing. They'll fight right to the last minute, and then Godzilla decides to turn around and walk away, but they're still firing rockets at him even as he walks away. Here they're just like, okay, whatever.
Fair enough. Yeah,
fair enough.
If you go back, say though, if you go back to like the mid to late 80s, early 90s, you will find no end of films like this that they kind of make sense until the credits have rolled and you take a moment to think about it, and then the entire film just falls to pieces.
Yeah, it's a shiny lights thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's like, look at these lovely sparkling lights. Wait, what was I doing?
What was that silly movie? Oregon or something Oregon. It was daft as hell. Yeah, I watched them in the 90s. That was a thing.
I know the one you mean. It's got giant robots in it.
Yes. And they're fighting biological things, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
God,
keep going, organ.
I think it's a bloody organ, all right.
Yeah, this is under this sort of vein. But the bit where Daddy Boy.
The world president.
No. Ginchuru is getting chopped to pieces.
Oh, that Daddy Boy.
And he's doing the Black Knight thing. It's only a flesh wound.
I'm gonna still fight. Oh Jesus! Back then it was flashy. My God! If anybody out there thinks, do you know what, this film sounds so bad, I must watch it. Epilepsy warning off the bat.
Yeah.
There are like every single fight scene when the hero pulls his sword up, bright flashing lights behind him. God dear, but it's just kind of like my train of thoughts left the station. Yeah,
I think the directors did as well, because this is so disjointed and convoluted.
That's where I was going. Back then, it's like the fight scenes were really flashy. The fight scenes were like really fashionable style of fighting. Now you look at it, it's kind of like, what were they trying to do?
Do you know when you watch an action movie in the 80s?
Yeah.
And some of the fight scenes are, and you're like, what the hell? You know, the spinning back kicks and stuff, and you're looking, going, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
You know, they do a spinning back kick and three people just fall down, all that kind of stuff. God, when you look at Bruce Lee stuff back in the day, it was tragic.
It's oh, I don't know. We'll call him Bruce Lee now. I mean,
No, but the films,
yeah,
not him as a person. Like, if you watch his stuff on camera, like the demonstrations will give, that's still bloody amazing. But the movies are cheesy as hell.
It's
Add in the side effects.
It's kind of like it's kind of like it is. It's kind of like Mr. Vampire martial arts, where you do a kick and there's a line of like 10 people and they just all go over like dominoes.
Yeah. That's the style of fighting they use in this, and it's. I think they should have made this a comedy. I don't know.
They wouldn't have to try really hard, would they?
No, it's right there, like with the music choices as well. I was just waiting for, you got the touch, dun dun dun, you got the power, as Kyoto transforms into a truck.
Oh God! Oh Jesus! Yeah. It's very of its time, isn't it?
Yeah, we needed a sci-fi thing to turn up. I think we needed a Gundam exosuit or something to turn up just to add the madness of us.
That'd be, oh God, that would be terrible. Oh my God, the films on YouTube.
But anyway, we skip forward 10 years or 9 years and 361 days later or something stupid like that.
Daddy was defeated by Mum-Ra or whatever his name is, and has now fallen into that huge trench that surrounds Shinjuku, taking his magic sword with him.
Yep.
Remember that bit?
Of course. Like, sorry, it's freaking under 3 already. Dear.
You know it's a good film when Colin can't talk about it.
Yeah. We meet Kyoto, and I don't know, he's in the cafe, and the first thing he does is just randomly slap the arse of the waitress.
Well, like you do in the 80s. I mean, apparently.
Do you know what? I was alive during the 80s. I don't know. I know
it's
hard to believe.
I was going to say, I wouldn't know when this film was released. I was 17, so I was more or less the same age as our hero is.
Yeah.
If I'd have gone into our local cafe and slapped the hair off, she'd have slapped me back.
You'd have got the face punched off. Everyone would have jumped on. And I'm sick and tired. This is the today culture thing of that's all we did back in the day was go around and in the office and in the workplace and everywhere we just grab women by the arse. No, because you get punched. That was a surefire way to get your face rearranged, and everybody would have jumped on you. If you started doing that shit, you know what I mean? You were getting hammered.
I'd say it's like back then wasn't much different than it is now. It's just that people who aren't old enough to have lived back then are saying it was bad and people were listening to them. That's my hot take.
No, definitely not disagreeing there. God's sake, you're sort of scratching your head, going, "What?"
People make no sense. I've given up trying to understand people.
Best avoided at all costs, honestly. Especially internet people. That avatar, that all those comments and videos, you're not you're not meeting someone decent behind that. No.
But yeah, slaps. I think you're kind of meant to kind of like get the idea that he's somehow kind of like involved with this waitress, which is why he's so familiar with her. Which makes it even weirder when like 10 seconds later he's ogling someone on the TV.
Yeah, and blatantly going, "Oh, I'd love to have a crack at her," and you're like, "What the hell's going on here?"
It's the look that the waitress. It's just the look she gives him. It's how he managed to walk out there unscathed. No idea.
That coffee pot should have been over his head.
What a he's not the hero we wanted, but he's the hero we need, apparently.
Do you know what? The demon's taking over is a better prospect, honestly, when you meet him. When you see Sayada, She's nothing. In fact, the girl in the cafe, because I think we got her name once, and that was it. She basically played no more part in it.
Yeah,
Was a better looking girl and had more personality.
yeah. It's like she's this a psycho. She's kind of like this. I think she's supposed to be like this good girl character, but she just comes across as being like a bit of a drip, really.
Oh yes, Sarah. She's a flipping wooden plank. She
Yeah,
isn't
she's got like
bubblehead.
she's like she literally spends the entire film talking monotone.
Mm-hmm.
Her facial expression never changes. She's gullible AF.
Yeah, there's nothing endearing there whatsoever.
She's not what you'd call a modern heroine, is she?
No, or even a classic heroine or a heroine, or it's
Yeah.
just boring.
If,
It would have been
if,
better, like I said, if the girl in the cafe had a stepped up. She was
yeah,
more fun, more interesting.
it's just kind of like I I don't understand Saya because she only really does one thing in the entire thing. Well, two. Because she gives. If you think about it, she gives the hero a chance to be heroic.
Mm. And it was so contrived, to be honest.
It,
If you had been in a relationship with the girl in the cafe,
I say if the girl in the cafe had been like if the girl in the cafe had been like kidnapped by a demon because the stars had said that she was the chosen sacrifice who was going to bring like Rabbi Ra's other half, whoever that was, because he's never mentioned. They're going to bring like Rabbi Ra's like demon prince back,
yeah,
and he went off to save her. It would have been much better than having just some like woman in a white dress standing there with like holding her hands in front of herself. Because she's the least interesting character in the entire film.
and that's including Rabbi Ra,
That's including Rabbi Ra.
who's pointless in this.
Because at least you've got it. Yeah, but at least it comes out with some like half decent lines. And there's that amazing scream he does at the beginning when they're fighting, where he just kind of goes like,
Yeah. There can be only one.
It's like, yeah, good.
Next time, Highlander. Next time.
Oh, my spleen! It's not going to survive this.
Oh, I think I've got diabetes after this because I think you put on Discord about needing snacks to get through this. I got the particular saying like I need junk food. I need.
I was
going to the bloody cinema. I was watching this before I went out to the cinema, and I'm like, I need junk food now. I can't wait. I need the
that's all right. I had like a large volume of squash and a family packet of Bombay mix, and it saw me through it. I laughed. I've got to be honest. I haven't seen this film in. I haven't seen this film in years and years and years, and I laughed. I actually think I enjoyed it way more than I should have done.
You can laugh at the ridiculousness of it because
I think that's it. Because it's like I came into this not expecting a horror film.
Yeah,
because it's like it's if you look at the guides and the reviews and things for it, everybody calls it a horror film. But it's like compared to what we know compared to what we had back in the 80s that we used to call horror film, this isn't a horror film. It's like you say, there's a few attempts to shock, but there's only like a very small handful of those through the entire film. Mind you, it's only what
4 scenes in total.
It's only what 80 minutes long.
Yeah.
So it's like which if you think about it, it's only a little bit shorter than the one we started off with, Perfect Blue.
Mm-hmm. But it was a completely different film.
Perfect Blue. I still say Perfect Blue is one of my favorite anime. It's one of my favorite horror films. I love Perfect Blue.
I would agree. That was intense.
Not so much.
But anyway, Kyoto he's completely over his father's disappearance.
Yeah,
by the way, like completely unfazed. He's not even harboring any sort of resentment.
It's like Dad went out to get some milk 10 years ago, and I'm fine with that.
And if there had been demon incursions into the city on a regular basis, like have the fact that there's a demon city some sort of threat to the rest of Tokyo, not that it just sits there.
That's just it. It just sits there. It's just like anyone from outside Shinjuku who goes into Shinjuku never comes back.
So the answer is never go there.
The answer is yeah, that's right. It's
But
like
what you needed as the evil built over the 10 years was it to be completely overrun, not being some sort of Judge Dredd friggin'
that's just it.
block
That's
or
just it. It's like they need
Demolition Man Underworld, if that makes sense.
that's it. That's it. What they need to do, they need to make a modern day remake of this film, Judge Dredd versus Demon City Shinjuku. Carl Urban as Judge Dredd, of course.
Of course.
Because it'd have to be live action, and it'd have to have really, really, really fancy CG.
I
That's all
reckon.
Phil's on now.
What would you say to the people that made Bleach?
Please stop. I'm not a fan of Bleach.
Completely different. Well, not the people that made Death Note.
No. The people who originally made Death Note should be applauded. The people who took it over definitely need to be strung up from the nearest lamppost.
Yeah, that.
I don't think there's many people out there who will ever forgive them for what they did to Death Note.
That was fucking shocking.
But it's like, talking about something completely different. Have you seen what's happened to Uzumaki Spiral?
No.
First episode is absolutely amazing. The first episode, the animation is absolutely fantastic. The second episode, it's all still shots.
Well, like comic book panels?
Yeah, like comic book panels. I haven't seen the second episode yet. This is just what, but apparently from what they're saying in the press, it's like the first episode was amazing, but the second episode is like trying to play a PS2 game on a PS5. And I'm like, ooh, so I have to watch that. So yes. But anyway, enough of that. Enough of that.
Yeah. There's not really. Here's the thing. There's not much of a plot in this story. It's all scene to scene to scene because
it's kind of like isolated chapters. It's like chapter 1.
Yeah.
Chapter 1, this happens. Chapter 2, he meets the girl. At the end of that chapter, the girl like wanders off and he starts riding his bike home. Chapter 3, the girl is in Shinjuku, exhibiting all the intelligence of a dropped egg.
Yeah, because Kiro meets Floating Man after the president of the world.
I quite like the scene where
what the hell is this?
It's the fact the president of the world, someone Musk, like lands at Tokyo Airport in his private space shuttle. I kid you not.
The jet, like Apollo 13 or something.
It's like it's a Space Airways or something. It says on the side of it. But I do like the scene where he gets off the plane and it's like he gets off the plane and Kyoya is kind of like watching the television and that girl comes forward. That Miss Universe is also Japanese. Walks up to him with a bunch of roses and he's like, no, don't take it. Don't take it. Don't take it.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bunch of roses explodes into tentacles. Yeah, I'm not worried about spoilers because trust me, I'm not spoiling anything.
Yeah, you're.
In fact,
it really has no bearing on this movie whatsoever.
Because it just ends up with like the president of the world hogtied by roses hanging from the ceiling of his hotel apartment. How they got into the hotel apartment, I haven't got the foggiest idea.
Yeah, if it had happened, like if it had been in the space shuttle, even,
yeah,
you know, as in he got pushed back into the space shuttle as these things, you know, and Floating Man came to like stem off the magic or whatever. I don't know. You can't be allowed to die because you've made all this peace.
Yes, you're good.
And if you go away, all the peace goes away.
Peace.
You're like, what is this shit? Is this the life of Bran? He's not the Messiah, he's a naughty boy sort of thing.
It's just it makes sense while you're watching the film. Like I say, all the problems with this film are when you stop watching the film and it gives your brain time to think.
Yeah.
Because nothing joins up with anything else. Or it's like anybody would think this film had been like, it had hit like the cutting room floor. The editor had taken one look at it and he just like chopped it apart and stuck it back together randomly.
Or he had a fit, he chopped it apart, and one of the assistants came in and went, "Oh, we still need to put the film out," and just started grabbing bits.
Yeah, but it's like it's not. This is the actual film. Apparently, in the novel that the film is based on, it makes a lot more sense because there are scenes in between the scenes that make up the film. But they decided to keep it to the really short. If the film had been another, I don't know, 20 minutes longer, I think it would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah, or would this have worked better as a series?
It probably would have worked better as a series. Because it's like a series of what, 12 24-minute episodes would have given you more time to look into why people are doing things and why this is happening.
Yeah, because the
It's like,
Demon Cities are just exists.
yeah.
The rest of the world is getting along wonderfully, thanks to Super Politician,
Oh,
and there's really nothing going on.
what's his name?
Robbie,
Kazumi Rama, father of Sayaka Rama, who when you hear the president speak, she definitely takes after her father. So that's why he's managed to bring world peace, because when he starts talking,
bored
everybody
everybody
just
to death.
falls to sleep. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you can't fire a gun when you're in a coma.
It's like, stop fighting, or we're going to be in negotiations for 3 days. I've got a speech prepared. We give up. Okay, whatever. Stop.
No problem.
Oh dear. Yeah, I've just no investment. Right, if he had got ripped apart and killed by roses, I would have had no investment at all.
Oh, but then world peace would have ended. They are.
But how shit is that world peace?
That's like, if someone with that kind of like personality, charisma, and machismo
Is needed.
is kind of like, it's kind of like nuclear weapons are no longer a thing. He's brought peace between the East and the West. He's even managed to sort the Middle East problems out.
Spoof. And plus,
you can see the look
if somebody was sorting all that out, that would be a permanent solution. Do you know what I mean? Because the only way you sort that out is for it to make sense to the people taking part. So if he's all sweetness and love, and that,
it will never do, because two people on opposite sides will never agree with each other.
no, go to any internet conversation. It's part of the human condition. We are tribal, shitty people. That's what we are. We will go to war with each other. If somebody's outside the tribe of whatever that tribe looks like, we're going to go to war with them. End of story. It's who we are. And I think the quicker people accept that, we'll actually get along a lot better. It's I don't know. I don't know why people, because the people that preach peace and love are usually the nastiest bastards on the planet.
I could think of several names off the top of my head. I won't mention any of them because YouTube will be like,
yeah. Well, YouTube's an example. All the people that moderate YouTube, against the hate speech, are the hatefulest, nastiest people you'll come across. They just want to stick the boot in, but they want to call it peace and love. Like, it's always been the human condition. No, and it doesn't matter what label it wears. You call it whatever you want, but it's all through our existence.
Peace and love. The only way you can make people behave is by threatening them.
Yeah,
because that is if you think about it, that is the purpose of like the police, the judicial system. It's
armies, nuclear weapons.
It's there to tell people that, like, if you do something that you shouldn't be doing, you will be punished for it. Now be nice to each other.
Yeah. If you can't be nice, keep out of each other's way. Don't be poking.
Yeah.
People have this thing, if there's a line drawn, there's always some idiot who wants to cross it just for the sake of doing it.
This is why I spend most of my life inside the house and don't go out much, because it's just kind of like, my lines, they're all brick walls. It's great.
But there will always be that one person who'll want to just encroach in your space.
Yeah. Yes.
You'll end up that neighbor one day that just will want to go into your garden, want to borrow something, or just want to just get in your face, and you're like, oh, freaking go away. It's just human nature, but that's why you need to balance, because that's what keeps us in check. Is all right. If I go too far, it's going to be bad for me.
But it's like I say about this movie. The fact that I sat down with like my Bombay mix and I laughed at it. That the world peace statement was one of the things I laughed at. Because it's like, make friends with each other, or I'll land my space shuttle in your country.
But would you not think the world would be getting worse in a build-up for a demon invasion? Was that not the whole point of Ravi Baba to... I'm just going to keep calling him randomly, because he's a stupid character. Would he not be... He was supposed to be preparing the world for invasion.
I've got to be honest, Ravi Baba is my favourite character in this.
Well, it's not exactly a high bar, is it?
Because you've got Captain Inconsiderate, the hero, whose dad went out to get some milk and maybe fight a demon 10 years ago and never came back.
He's all right with it. Yeah.
You've got a young lady who may have been dropped on her head when she was a child.
More than once.
More than once. You've got a bloke who's a politician who's obviously as high as a kite from the things you think he did. You've got this mysterious old bloke with a very strange nose who's been eating like blue ready brick, because he's got a ready brick glow around him, but it's blue. And then
You've got the kid on the roller skates who...
Oh, the kid on the roller skates.
The only interesting character, like I said, was the girl who worked in the cafe. She's the only one I wanted to see in another scene, and then she disappeared. Well, she's the only one that actually... I was just wondering why she was so nonchalant about getting her arse felt. Like, then so nonchalant about him knowing the fact that he's a walking friggin' erection.
He's like, what a knobhead, honestly. Oh, God.
She almost pitied him. Do you know what I mean? It was that sort of look of... You're a twat.
It's like, jeez. It is kind of like, it is, I've got to be honest, that is very kind of like 80s Japan. Because it's like Japan in like the 70s and 80s had a massive problem with like blokes feeling up random women, to be quite honest. So it's like a woman would walk past a bloke in the street and he'd feel the need to like slap her on the arse. Or because it's all like touch her inappropriately in a crowded train carriage, to the point where they now have designated like women only carriages.
All right.
You can also there's a t-shirt company that does t-shirts of random signs from Japan, and one of them is it's basically the sign. It just says "Beware of perverts." It's absolutely great. The picture on it is like a stick man and a stick woman, and the stick man is totally feeling up the stick woman's bum. I may have one somewhere. It's great to stand on streets with because nobody knows what it means. But I digress.
All right, didn't know that was a thing.
Different. Oh yes, but yeah, they did have a massive problem with don't want to call it misogynism. Let's call it misogynism. They did have a massive problem with misogynism in Japan. It's not like that now. Way better. But it's that kind of thing that you laughed at, you pointed at, you say that's weird. A long time ago, that was perfectly normal behavior. So he's like, what a knobhead, what an idiot. But basically, he's just proving that he's like, the man.
Okay, if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do.
Still reckon he should have ended up with a coffee pot over his head.
Yeah, without a doubt.
It's like I mean, it is one of those films that hasn't aged very well.
But Glowy Man turns up. Like, we haven't even got past that, but
sorry.
And Kyoto starts trying to fight him. He gets slapped around unceremoniously. And his answer is, I'm not going to take this guy seriously. I'm going to have another go.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, the fact that this bloke is floating like 10 feet up in the air, you'd think he'd know that he was something different.
And the fact that he hasn't been trained, so he knows there's something different about him. But we get none of that. He's just like, man, I'm gonna go and
I'm gonna go.
chop
It's
up
like,
cans of stuff.
yeah, it's like no, it's like yes, you're terrible. You can't win, but you've got to. You've got 3 days.
Motivation, like
It's like motivation.
why didn't it just send the president in to talk to everybody in the Demon
I was,
City? That would have been better.
he was a bit tied up.
But
So it's like why they could have just sent they could have just sent like a couple of hey, thank you, I'm here all week. They could have just sent like a couple of heavies or together with like this like apparition of glowy blue man and said like, yeah, we've got someone who needs to speak to you. And then they could have taken him to like the prime minister of the world. The prime minister of the world could have been like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope.
Hmm.
It would have made more sense.
Yeah, him getting invited and stuff, and he just sees her on the TV and goes, "Oh, she's nice." And if it had been like, "Oh, what? Oh, I'm not good." If he had been in a relationship with her in the cafe, and he just caught the arrival because everyone was excited,
Yeah.
and he saw her and, "Oh, she's nice," and then she would have slapped him or something,
Stand
like
back of the
play,
head, the
and
foot off
what are
the
you
floor,
doing?
yeah.
And then next thing you know, he's getting invited there. This whole thing would have had a much better flow. But we'll just jump into weird scenes and just make
Yeah,
sense.
because it's like what is it? He's seen it's after he's seen Blue Glowy Man.
Mm.
Blue Glowy Man's been kind of like, we need your help, and he's gone like, no, I'm not interested. That he's riding back home on his bike, and damn it, what's her name? Sayaka calls out to him. Because of course she would just happen to be waiting like on the sidewalk as he's riding home to meet him.
Yeah, because she wouldn't have us after a terrorist attack.
Because yeah,
She wouldn't have a security
reasons.
detail.
So I need you to help me. Joe, no, I've already said I can't do this. I'm not gonna help you. All right, then in that case, I shall do it myself.
Here was the bit I was waiting for. She said, "Oh, it's okay. I'm fast on my feet." I was expecting her to show a demonstration of power. Like go off super speed or something.
Yeah, or maybe like, oh, it's like, can you defend yourself? At which point she like drops an axe kick onto the top of his head, but stops just before but the force of it knocks him off his bike. That kind of thing. But she doesn't.
No, and there's no incentive for him.
She just kind of stands there and looks drippy.
Yeah, and then saunters off. Okay, fine then. Bye.
Well, at least to Kyoto's credit, he does stop his bike for a moment and look back at the way she's gone before riding off home.
Yeah. I just, like I said, you see no motivation whatsoever for Kyoto to go anywhere near Demon City.
Yeah.
You see no motivation for the rest of the world to be involved because the thing's just doing it's minding its own business. There's no threat to the rest of the world. In fact, the rest of the world's getting along chippingly, so
it just makes no sense, does it? It makes no sense whatsoever. It's like you say, it's this kind of like this. It's like this Demon City's been there for what 10 years, so obviously nobody's not really bothered about it. And it's kind of like there's no safeguard against anything coming out. There's no plan. Oh, there is a plan in place should something go wrong, but it involves this bloke who knows nothing about it.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't think, oh, let's get him at a young age because what would he have been like? 5 or 6 or something. I mean, you'd have been a young boy, right? We need to get to him and start training them and getting them ready for this. Like Mortal Kombat has a better storyline.
It's just think of the awesome training montage that you could have given us.
Absolutely, and there should have been incursions. Like the world needed to be at peace because they need to focus their efforts on Shinjuku.
It's like
that would make perfect sense.
The other one. But yeah, it's kind of like it's like, oh, the world must pull together to fight these aliens. Why not pull together to fight these demons?
Yeah. So you could then have scenes of every army in the world, surrounding the Demon City.
Yeah.
try and repel every time they make incursions to repel the hordes.
Bigger and bigger and more powerful demons. So
It's not like it costs. It's animation. It doesn't cost anymore to draw bigger demons.
it'd be like on Attack of Titan, but they're trying to get out instead of getting in.
Yeah, that would make perfect sense.
It's probably an anime like that somewhere.
And Kyoto has been in preparation
Mm.
for this moment. And then Kyoto getting kidnapped.
Yeah. But it's
Or
like,
his girlfriend getting kidnapped.
so I honestly do
Give
think
him a motivation to go, not just because he feels like it.
not just because he's like you, not just because like he must, but you know, he's like oh, all right, I'll do it if I must, that kind of thing, or I'll do it if I just happen to turn up. I mean, it's like the whole reason he gets involved with, like, I'll call it the second part of the film, where they're actually in like the Demon City itself. They're in Shinjuku. It's like the whole reason he's there. It appears to me that because of his guilt, because he let the girl go on his own, on her own.
He only matter. And he doesn't know if he's going there or not. And like he literally, right, if you bumped into somebody in the street and they went, I'm getting in there, will you come with me? And you go, no thanks. And then you toddle along, would you give it another thought apart from that was strange?
Yeah, yeah. If someone came up to me like she did and shouted after me, I wouldn't have even stopped to pass the time of day. I'd have just started pedaling faster.
Yeah, get me the hell out of here, you lunatic. Liu Kang.
Rando, I don't care if she's been on the television and she's really pretty.
Yeah.
Rando.
Yeah, in fact, that'd be worse. He'd be waiting for the security team as if it was a stick up. But you think about Mortal Kombat, for example, and that's a cheesy movie. But Liu Kang was in preparation for Defensive Earthrealm. That was his whole purpose. He was in the temple, he was preparing. Kyoto's done none of this shit. And he only doing Kempo as a hobby because he felt like it, because his dad used to do it. And maybe when he comes back after his long trip to get his mountain goat milk, they could practice together. Would his father have kept that a secret from the fact that he is a noble warrior defending the earth from hell? That would be like a whole family tradition, would it not?
It is in most of them, to be quite honest.
Yeah. So it's not like he just found out his father has it's not like finding out his father has a secret life. This would be a badge. This would be honor.
I am the son of Genchurio, wielder of the sword of whatever name he gave his sword. I can't remember.
It was a flipping what name was sword? It was a bunto. It was a flipping training Campbell sword.
It was a stick in the shape of a sword.
Yeah, a bunto. That's what it's called, isn't it? A bunto. It's a training sword.
You've put bento in my head now, which is packed lunch.
Bunto, I think it is.
We'll go with it.
Yeah.
There's a wooden sword called.
There is a name. There is a name for it. It's the wooden. You know what I mean? It's for
Bokken.
Bokken. That's the one, right? That'll do. That's better. I knew it was a B.
But yeah, it's just like there's just it's like I am actually surprised he turned up in Shinjuku because there is no motivation,
no story arc, no anything. Just I feel like it. But Sayaka just walks on in, and she is dippy as hell. Like talk about dippy more. And goes up to the first street gang because that's clever. In any street, even or not.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing that the heroine would do in pretty much no film ever.
Yeah. Hey, Chris. Welcome. We're talking about an extremely random shit. Confusing movie.
He wanted bad. I gave him bad. I gave the man what he asked for. It's like, dude, it's like, pardon me, she says to like random criminal.
It's not like I begged you. Oh, whip me, daddy. Give me the worst movie ever and confuse me. Yeah, well,
he's giving you some
roll of dice. We're having too good a good run with this series, so we'll have to roll the dice and get a terrible one.
Like Demon City Shinjuku. Don't watch it if you suffer from epilepsy, because there's no epilepsy warnings on it anywhere ever. Even the English version doesn't have epilepsy warnings on it. Checked.
Take your Take your life in your hands, go for it. It's like Russian roulette.
It's like, oh no, oh Jesus. Oh my God! Yeah. So yeah, she walks into like Demon City Shinjuku. Asks the first stranger she meets, "I'm looking for the villain. Do you know where he is?"
Because that's the way it works.
At which point, villain turns around and goes, "Why, yes, he's my brother. I'll take you to him."
That's why I'm out here on the streets and not in the castle or, the luxurious apartment or whatever he would be staying in
Like
if he was the crime boss of the city.
Sitting on that bench in front of that car, eating street food like you do.
Yeah, because, that makes sense. God.
And she follows him. She follows him like a good little plot MacGuffin.
Yep. I think she should have drilled more. At least she would have shown some sort of like emotion.
It's kind of like it feels like she's gone in there. It's like she's heard Dad and Floaty Man. She's heard them talk about like Rabbi Ra and how evil is and how he must be stopped. And she's thought, got you, Dad. Yep, no problem. Stay with me, fam. I'll go and sort it out for you, without knowing the slightest thing about what she's getting into.
Yeah.
Because it's like entire armies have walked into this place and been destroyed. I'm going to go in there on my lonesome.
That works. And then doesn't even proceed to like scope the place out or anything, just walks around and like in the same clothes, not in a backpack. I love people that go on these journeys, expeditions, don't even take a day sack with them. With a packed lunch, you know what I mean? Just
well, at least we know they're still serving food in Shinjuku.
That's
which is good.
But that's the thing as well. If there's a human population getting on doing human population things, and there's no back and forth between the city and the outside, this place should have been a hellscape. I mean, it should have actually been no humans. Everyone's devoured or they're a demon.
Maybe that's why the bridge is there. So they can like shuffle the occasional, box of pot noodle under it. It just makes no. And you think there's things like helicopters.
Yeah, which were around the 80s.
Yeah, it's definitely around. They'd be like flying stuff in there and out. But it just kind of like no one goes in, no one comes out. We'll just leave it in the middle of Tokyo and we'll ignore it because that's the best way to sort anything.
Escape from New York made more sense. I'm just thinking that like every cheesy 80 movie, that this is possibly based on. And they at least had a plot. In fact, no, sorry, not Escape. Escape from New York was good. Escape from LA.
Escape from LA.
Yeah, which was absolutely dog shit. And that still makes more sense than this. And that sequel was diarrheaed out onto the screen.
Oh.
Like even Kurt Russell was like, I'm not getting paid enough for this. You could just tell as he limped his way through that movie of why I'm firing my agent after this. He just had that look on his face.
Oh my God! Right, I'm just looking at. I'm looking at the author. I'm thinking like, what the author who wrote the novel this is based on, Hideyuki Kikuchi. I'm thinking like, what else did they write? Have they got anything else? It's like all the Demon City, more Demon City, more demons. Because I was wondering, is there anything like, is there anything they've done like before that you could see like they've kind of like they kind of like where they found their inspiration from. And I've discovered the person who wrote this amazing film is also responsible for Vampire Hunter D. Wait a minute, Vampire Hunter D is actually quite good.
That's fun. That might be our next movie.
Wow, Vampire Hunter.
There's 3 of those in there.
I've got the original. I haven't seen anything after the original.
I've seen Bloodlust. I think I've seen the last one.
Bloodlust, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one I was telling you about. We just got got together and got trolleyed and watched it, and it was so much fun. I think just more the fact that we were shit-faced and being silly in a private
See this,
cinema.
like, there you go. You see this film could be so much more fun if alcohol is involved. It's like you have to take a shot every time you see a whiff of cheese. You won't last the first 10 minutes.
And they've got this other thing that, you know, the shadows in the walls come alive and there's tentacles.
That poor cat.
Oh, yeah. Like, also, if it's been 10 years, cats know how to survive. So if there's feral animals running about, they would not be going about. They would have that sense about them of being in danger. Have you ever tried to pet a random cat that's not in the mood? They're gone before you get anywhere near them. It's like foxes. You know, there's loads of foxes where I live, and
Yeah.
you're not getting near one of them things.
No, our foxes are way too smart. Our foxes are way too smart to go anywhere near people.
Yeah. So there you go. That was one of them random scenes. One of the 4 scenes that's just put there to go. This is a horror movie, kids. Just in case you don't know, this is horror. You're like, no.
It's kind of like cheese, an attempt to shock you. More cheese,
Yep.
and another attempt to shock you.
But when Kyoto turns up to the rescue, that's the bit I lost. That's the bit where you had already put on Discord. You needed snacks for this, and I went. I concur.
What? It's like
Pause. Loads of fatty food. I'm like, oh my god, I can't get through this.
It requires either a 4-cheese pizza or an absolutely dripping bacon sandwich to get through that part.
That was bad. That was terrible.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
I did. I'm like, no, I'm reading the biscuit drawer now. I'm done. I can't. No, this requires. If I was still a drinking man, there would be a bottle or something. Because no way.
Yeah. It's like I tell you, it's like this is one of those films where it's like if you've never seen it before, you need something to help you survive it. Especially if you are like a true horror fan who likes everything horror, because this is horror.
This is anti-horror. This is
it's vegan horror.
Yeah, this is Goosebumps type stuff.
It's horror with all the meat taken out of it.
Yeah. I can't believe it's not horror. Oh dear. Is this the one? Yeah, this is when you were going to roll the dice and get the stinker, you know what I mean?
I knew what I was doing. Don't worry, I knew what I was doing when I did this.
Get the bad dice rolls out of the way, you know what I mean, so we can carry on. We were having too good a run, so we just had to subject ourselves to this. But yeah, when he just stands there with "I am here now," bump, and "You got the touch, dun dun dun, you got the power."
Oh god, it's like disco, but not good.
God,
I wonder if you can actually find the soundtrack for this somewhere. Because if so, it's
probably is. I bet you someone. This is the era. This is the time of movie soundtracks that sold just as many. Do you remember the ones you used to get? The Matrix was the worst offender.
Oh god!
You got the Matrix soundtrack, and it was music from and inspired by, in the tiny little, they opened up the brackets and the tiny and inspired by the movie. Yeah, that's this. Or what's the word? The worst one's the Spawn soundtrack.
Oh god!
If you remember that.
Oh. There are so many sound. It's like you can't. It's like still these days you can't just have like this film, the soundtrack.
Doesn't work now. There's another thing they've absolutely managed to arse up. There was a whole ecosystem to entertainment industry, and they managed to completely fuck it, because you got the movie come out in the cinema. Then the soundtrack, so that was the music side taken care of. The soundtrack would have come out, so the hardcore collector would have got that. Or even the cat, you know what I mean? It was something, there was a whole section in like the HMV for movie soundtracks. So if the movie was a terrible movie but had a good soundtrack, the album would have sold. Then the one would have come out in physical media, and then it would have went to TV. and they managed to arse up that whole ecosystem, and they're wondering why they're broke. Because even a shitty movie could have had a great soundtrack, and people would have bought the soundtrack, thinking, "Oh, well, actually, I remember that song, Mortal Kombat." As in, there's an example of the soundtrack. I think sold more than the movie. Could be wrong.
Understandable if it did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Highlander, you know what I mean? Queen wrote an album specifically
Honestly,
for A Kind of Magic.
Highlander had a great soundtrack.
But Queen wrote that, in that album specifically for the movie.
Got to be honest, the original Highlander, one of the best things about it is the soundtrack. In fact,
Yeah.
no, maybe the best thing about it is the soundtrack.
That was their album, A Kind of Magic, and it, took off.
Just
So
because
there was that sort of thing.
It's kind of like
This movie can't even get that right.
Let me try and find out who the composer was so we can shame him live on stream. No. All cast and crew, you're not escaping from me.
If SoundCloud had been about, it would have been a flippant SoundCloud, artist. It would have been what you call him, Crow Remake.
Oh,
it would have been him as a musician who would have wrote this. It's that bad.
Just in case he's out there watching this, Motokazu Shinoda, you know who you are.
Yeah. Naughty.
God, he only did two things. Monster City, which is Demon City Shinjuku, and something called The Crusader of Senti.
Yeah, you wouldn't get
which is a video game.
Are you really getting any work after this? Let's be honest.
No.
You're not getting any work after this.
Maybe
today you would be, because everything's that friggin' shit. But back in the 80s, if you produce this, you're not getting any more jobs. You're done.
I'm actually surprised how much work the director got after doing this, because apparently he's doing something right now.
All right then.
The last work he did was published in 2011, which is called this animation called Tibetan Dog that I never heard of, and he's doing something now. So he's basically come back 13 years later.
He hopes everybody's forgotten. Do you know what? Do you know what would be hilarious? After this stream gets out and that project gets a kibosh because everyone's been reminded of Demon City Shinjuku.
Thing is, though, he also did Vampire. He also did Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah, see, that's that's a bounce back. This is the one that's been swept under the rug. Let's be honest. That's the big shining light. Vampire Hunter D. That trilogy is the big shining light, and this is the skeleton in the closet that he doesn't want anybody to know about. Anyway, so you're a bit dippy. You're not fully compass mentis, but you've went into a Demon City, right?
Yeah.
And you've had your first experience of being in the Demon City that people lie to you. Right?
And they lead you into bad places where they want to do dark things to you.
And then you have to listen to shitty music while you get rescued by dipshit.
It's like some of
what's
the worst
the next thing you do?
It's like
you go to the engine, you go to random you listen to the criminal who tells you to go to another criminal
just before being eaten by the floor.
Yes.
But then there's the fight scene against the big crab guy.
Oh, does that happen first?
No, that happens second.
Don't get that, but that's when the thing almost.
That's when Roller Skate Kid appears.
Oh
isn't
God,
it?
yes.
No,
So
I'm missing a bit.
Let's put him off for a bit because God. No, but what you do is you go to the next criminal, and you give them all of your money.
Come on, she's one of the most colourful characters of the entire thing.
Yeah,
just from the way she runs.
But if your experience is okay, I've just talked to the first person. I was about to get disrobed unceremoniously and poked.
Yes.
What I'll do is, yes, I'll listen and I'll go to the next criminal, and yes, I'll put the money in the drawer and not expect it to go wrong because this is a nice place I'm in. Like, there's a
It's.
The title Demon City, you know, if people know it's Demon City and not to go there, it should be a bit of a hint to be a
I
bit
mean,
wary.
right.
No?
I've worked this out. I've worked this bit out. She's the president. Well, she's the daughter of the president of the world. Yeah, she's obviously had a very sheltered upbringing because she's used to seeing Daddy going like, "East and West, get rid of your nuclear weapon." Yes, president of the world.
You will not
So
have any
they,
more
they're used
war.
to. They're used to like they're used. She's used to seeing people telling Daddy exactly what he wants to hear because he's the president of the world. So she thinks she can do it.
But did she not notice that whenever Daddy speaks, everyone goes into a coma? Like he goes blur blur blur, blur, and that mustache, it's a hypnotic mustache. That's what it is. The mustache goes blur, 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 and everyone gets hypnotized.
Yeah,
Do you know if he had? Do you know this movie would have made so much more sense if his mustache had come live and rainbow sparkles had come out of it, and everyone felt like peace and love.
Whoa! It's like
I'd have been on board for this movie.
well, yeah. It's like no offense. No. She just you've got to be honest though. When she speaks, she's like she's like a dad. She speaks with in monotone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like she's like okay, he says she's beautiful, but my God, that personality.
And by the way, folks, if you haven't seen the anime series before, we watch these with subtitles, not dubbing,
Mm.
because you want to get the full. So this is the original. It's not some Southern Californian twat, you know, meandering along with no emotion whatsoever. It's actually the proper voice actors, because that's the only way to watch this stuff if you want to get the full experience.
But it's like
And yet-
Japanese voice acting tends to be really, really good. They really get behind their characters.
Oh,
It's like they have like meetings that last all day discussing how that character should sound. So it's like she sat. So basically, whoever's like directing this movie turned around and said, "Yes, we want you to sound like the most boring, uninterested, half asleep woman you can possibly be."
Yeah, that was a choice.
And to be quite, you've got to be honest. She nailed it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's like applause to the voice actress for absolutely nailing that role. God, we wish you hadn't. You made me serious. She's done some really good stuff, and then she's done this.
Here, she's done what she's told, so that's it.
Yeah, that's
You can see the family resemblance, you know.
She's played her role perfectly. It's just a shame she hasn't got like the magic hypnotic mustache, really.
Yeah. But Criminal Woman, yeah, like you said, that running scene was just
She's one of the best characters in it. I mean, but then again, my favorite character in this is the bad guy.
no, mine's still the waitress. Mine is still the waitress, because she's the only one that actually has a personality in this. Because
I can't argue with her.
And it's just only in one scene.
She's literally there for like 4 minutes right at the beginning, and that is it.
But yeah, Kyoto tries to channel his inner Spike, because that's basically the way he was acting, as if he was Spike out of Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So he goes from complete twat to trying to be Mr. Cool, and you're like, this is not working. This character is all over the place.
He's not the kind of guy you'd like to watch your back, is he? Because he's just so unstable.
Mm-hmm. 1 minute he's on it, and then next he's out of it. You know, and you're like, I can't gel with him whatsoever. Like, this is supposed to be really cool. Or like, if you've ever seen the Johnny English chase scene where they ripped off the mock James Bond, the Casino Royale one, the guy's doing all the parkour, and Rowan Atkinson's just, bumbling along.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I have.
Yeah, that would have been more fun than this, to do that in anime.
I think the anime it would have made more sense if they'd cut most of it out and just made it like a long series of fight scenes.
Hmm.
More like a side-scrolling beat 'em up where you just beat people unconscious until
Yeah,
you
just
get to the
it's
boss
a
at the end.
war. They're fighting. It's the last vestiges of the demon horde about to take over the
Mm.
world. Not the forgotten city that nobody cares about.
Mm.
That's just meandering along, and the world's all happy and fluffy. And Rebo's got all his power, so he can sleep in a chamber.
I have the power. Oh no, wrong cartoon. Sorry.
Yeah.
But it's
What's the point of all that power and stuff? Like he could just, if he wants to be a homeless hobo in a box, he could just be one. Just be somewhere remote where nobody annoys him.
yeah.
That's the other thing about Japan. If you go outside of like Tokyo, the place is still rural and it's the same as China. Actually, if you go away from the
Yeah,
coast of China,
I know.
the
Well,
place is sparsely populated.
yeah, it's like you jump on a train, ride for a couple of hours, step out the train, and it's like you step back 200 years.
Yeah, and if you go on a hike, then you're completely isolated. So
Yeah,
if you want to sit in a box with laser lights pointing at you, you could do that anywhere. You don't have to take over a whole
totally
city.
doable. But yeah, it's kind of like Shinjuku. I can't. It's like, why have they abandoned Shinjuku? It's like, yes, this is where that person is going to summon all the demons and take control of the earth, and then all humanity is going to be destroyed. We'll just build this wall around it, and it'll be fine.
They didn't even build a wall. We'll leave the bridge up as well because they might want to come over. People have to commute to work. Just don't send any tanks over. They're the ones that disappear. But if you send over a bus, it's all right.
If the final battle had been on that bridge with like Rabbi Ra with his army of demons behind him, that would have been cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I love the ending fight scene in this anime. I absolutely love it.
It's just kind of tough.
It's the cherry on the top of the cake. It really is.
But we also have Edgelord turn up Mephisto.
He's
Talk about a point. What point?
Edgelord.
What point did his character serve?
He has a book. I kind of think it's an introduction because later on in the series, according to what I've just been reading, he has a book all to himself.
So
I think he's the only reason he's in it is kind of like he saves Sayaka, but also he can have like the flirty scene with Spaghetti Lady.
Which once again, why did that need to be here?
I don't know.
If Mephisto was actually fighting against the demon, we've got no sense of the demon horde advancing onto the world. No sense of that at all in this movie.
It's kind of like Mephisto. He's kind of like that character, the farces that they used to have like on the stage. It's like Mephisto is the random bloke with the silly voice who opens the door and goes, "Oh, totally sorry, wrong room," and then goes out again. It's like he's literally. Is he eye candy for the ladies? I've no idea. It's nice coat. That's all I can say. But
he adds nothing to this movie.
I honestly think his placement is there for the fans just because he has a book of it. He's supposedly a recurring character in the novel.
Are there fans of this franchise?
Hang on a minute. There are
right. I see a few of you folks in the chat. Are any of you here as fans of this franchise?
And are you prepared to admit it?
As where a lot of people sign off to change their avatars. Their song point to come in.
Let's think. Let's think.
Even their troll account, they don't want to sully their troll account with mission of this.
That's not what I'm looking for.
He adds nothing to this movie. It makes no sense. He's just there to go, me, Edgelord, I'm going to appear twice more in this movie.
Yeah, it's like you say though. It's like it's not. The movie has like the bare minimum of consistency. It's like you could edit half. You could edit half of the scenes into different positions in the movie, and it'd probably still run just as well and make as much sense.
Yeah, that's bad. That is truly bad. Like,
12. There are 7 volumes of this novel series, and then like maybe half a dozen spin-offs. The last one was published in 1988, so it must have fans. Or it did have fans.
is this an adaptation that hasn't, there's fans of the book? Is this the Rings of Power of anime? Is that what's happened?
I'm not sure, because it's like, right, the first book, Demon City Shinjuku, is what this
Or The
anime is
Witcher?
based-
Witcher
is what
probably
this
more.
anime is based on. The sequel, which I have never seen and didn't know existed, is called Demon Palace Babylon, which is the second. So I'm guessing when they started making it, there was going to be one of these for every single volume. Volume 7 would have been amazing, because that one is Demon Doctor Mephisto. So he would have just spent the entire anime just like leaning against lampposts, looking edgy.
Or I'm sorry, like an episode of VR. He just turns up, and puts a mask on, scalpel,
Whoa.
balking.
It's like, save the young lady from the demon.
Then we
But-
get to the train.
Oh,
I'm just like,
that was after the first appearance of Crabman, because it's like it was the kid who dragged them down the manhole,
yeah,
tactically placed under the parked car to save them from Crabman.
Get
that led
under
to the
here.
train scene.
yeah. That was such a plot device.
You got to be honest. Like Crabman has he's got a lot more going for him than either of the main heroes, because he is actually, just by his design, an interesting character.
Yeah, he was more fun. I could picture him being, a lieutenant or something, or leading a gang.
He's one of the 3 great monsters who is guarding the west entrance to Shinjuku Station for a reason I can't quite remember. Thing is, I can remember the 2 of the monsters. What was the third one? I can remember Crabman. I can remember like
Birdman.
weird bat bird lady.
Tentacle one? Did she count as one of the monsters?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Must have been.
Noodle lady. Yes.
She must have been, because what was the point of that fight otherwise?
I think it was just. I think it was the entire thing. It was just to show how hot Mephisto was, and how cool he was at the same time. Because
You take that scene out.
It loses nothing. I get it. From the scene just before that, it almost feels as if like the tentacle lady, whatever she's called, she was going to follow Sayaka.
Because why? What
Plot MacGuffins. And like he prevented, because she's like pure and innocent, and demons are attracted to her, because I haven't got the foggiest idea, because it doesn't actually explain anything in the book, and it doesn't explain anything in the film, and I've never read the book.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can still get a hold of the book.
You probably could, but
I'm
honestly,
I'm wondering if it's like, because it's going to be, but it's going to be one of these super rare things where they were like 200 quid for it.
yeah, I'm like, no, because is that not the whole point of an adaptation, is to make you curious about how the book delves more in the world? This doesn't do that at all.
It doesn't. It's like I can only assume that there's very little background material in the book, or is it one of those series where like everything that happens in volume 1 is explained in volume 2 in hindsight?
Which is pointless. You can't write stuff
I
like that.
hate that. I absolutely.
The whole point of a movie is a snapshot in a universe. I think we've talked. I've talked on this channel anyway. The whole point of a movie or a series is you're getting a snapshot into the universe.
Yeah.
You then want to know more about the universe. We've talked about it during Aliens, Aliens chats, right? And that's the whole point. It's a particular sequence of events in a universe, and you don't need to know everything about that universe. There's enough going on that we were talking about Jim Romulus. That's where it came up. So there's enough going on, little conversations that you get an idea of where you are in this universe, and then you get a complete story, a sequence of events that gets resolved. But you can then delve more into because it makes you wonder. This achieves none of that. I do not care about Demon City Shinjuku. I don't want to know about any other stories. I don't care about any other character apart from the waitress. If she got her own book, I would be tempted. Because she was the only really interesting one. Her whole 4 minutes showed more emotion and range and had more dialogue, and I think it just broke fleet, than anything anybody else is doing, including the main characters, including the villain, including the protagonist, the hero. You get no sense whatsoever of who these people are, and you've really no interest in finding out any more about them. That's the tragic thing about this. You just end up going, huh? Okay, that's a thing. All right, that's a sequence of events. Okay, that's a battle. And you have no sense of tension or there's no stakes. Nobody has a stake in this. None of the characters have any motivation to do what they do. They only do it because the plot tells them to. And that's like, why? What purpose does that serve? Yeah, very frustrating. Give me a second, like type a wee message here. But yeah, like we're struggling just to we're just struggling to find any sort of motivation as to why anybody does anything in this movie. The whole setup of the Demon City, it's a forgotten realm. It has no impact on the world whatsoever. It should have been a threat. And you'd think as well, so Floriman has the ear of the president of the world. So that's pretty high up, you would think. So would he not have been mobilizing people? And it not being a secret, not just some random kid with special powers? Like even the fact that Aha, welcome back.
Yeah, I made it.
Yeah. I was just saying there's no stakes in this movie.
Yeah,
Absolutely none.
I was gonna say I've got YouTube running, so I kept up. But it's it is one of those movies where it's like as soon as it starts, you know what you know what's going to happen at the end. You know what the you know what the conclusion is going to be.
Yeah. And I was nodding out a bit. I was like, okay. No, I had no sense of tension or drama or that it might go wrong. And that's not good storytelling. Yeah, so we'll meet Roller Skate Boy.
And another great. Why are all the serious beef? Why are all the side characters way more interesting than the main characters? Because it's like you've got like main characters, kind of like Rocky Balboa with a stick and all the personality. It's like you've got Dreary Girl, Glowy Blue Man. You've got the president of the world with his magic mustache, and it's like all the characters you meet in Shinjuku. It's like they're colourful, they've got character, they look interesting.
they seem to be living better lives in the Demon City, actually, apart from randomly getting eaten now and again.
There is the risk of you when you're walking down the street, you'll lose a foot. But apart from that, it's probably because they don't have to listen to like the president of the world, like jabbering on about world peace.
They have no internet.
It's like,
They have no access to social media. That's why they're all happy.
my God, it's like, how could you live without access to social media? And I'm like, oh wait, quite well actually, if you think about it. But what a great film, though.
It's funny, but I don't think it's intentionally funny.
It's. I'm gonna tell you, I was reading up, and it's like people take the novels quite seriously. I found the novels; they're like 50, 60, 70 quid a volume, so I won't be buying them.
No, not that motivated.
So that was it. You see, the internet was so disgusted that I was actually looking to see if you could buy these volumes, that it kicked me out your stream.
Yeah, that's what it's going. Don't go that far. Wouldn't even be worth banning Kindle Unlimited or anything.
God,
Probably cost the same.
To be honest, if this film is an example, I don't want to read them.
True. It's like Scream fans. It'd be like going to a Scream fan convention and meeting a load of Scream fans. Like, no.
Ooh.
Yes, I understand you're passionate about, but no.
That could be a fate worse than death.
Yeah, God, no.
It's like, you're a Scream fan, watch this film, Demon City Shinjuku. It's like, so yeah, it's like they go to they're saved by like roller skate kid who decides to put them up for the
motorized roller skates.
Motorized roller skate kid. He decided then it's the train scene, isn't it? Then he decides to put them up for the night. I like the fight on the roof of the train, but I think the ending to it is a bit.
What do you do? But also, why introduce that cool dog?
Yes.
That was a cool dog. That was actually a better character than our protagonist.
I mean, you got to be quite honest. Which dog lover out there wouldn't like a Doberman with two heads?
I love Doberman. They're absolute sweethearts.
They're awesome dogs. They're really. I've also, if someone down the road's got a Doberman, it's such a softie.
One of my neighbors, growing up, he had a Doberman, and Kelsey, you called her, and she would not let me pass by the gate without getting her pet.
Yeah, it's like this.
Let me pass by the gate, and then once she got her two pets, that was her. Off she went, happy. But every time she saw me, and hated fireworks. Like, I remember bolting into our house one day. He was out for a walk, and the fireworks started. She actually bolted into our house, and I hadn't got Ralph yet, my beagle, but my niece's Shih Tzu was there, and she just bowled the Shih Tzu out of the way, running past him. And Barney's just sitting there going, "Huh? What's wrong with you?" And he's just watching the fireworks, and she's like guarding behind one of their armchairs.
Exactly. Amazing dog comes in, growling and barking, looking threatening, and then it's just like it's kind of like Sayaka comes up and just kind of like hypnotizes him with her brainwaves.
Yeah. That's what I said. If she had a magic mustache too, if she had a mustache like her father's that just appeared and went,
that would it. It's like there'd be no problem with demons in Shinjuku. They'd leave. But yeah, and then it's like poor dog.
Yeah, once again, but that was another shocking scene just for the sake of being shocking, to go, this is a horror movie, kids, just in case you don't know, you're meant to be invested and terrified. And there's like, did you give us a chance? We've only met Rollerblade Kid and his two-headed dog. We'll have no investment in them, no character building, no arc, and it just happens. What is the point? It's like, shuffle on. Next scene, shuffle along.
That's it. So, there's all this stuff with like them getting to know the kid and the dog. Nah, runtime.
Beastmaster had a better, more emotional scene when one of the ferrets gets killed.
Beastmaster. Oh God! Don't remind me about that. Beastmaster. Now there's a film. Oh,
There's a film indeed.
What a great
Mark
film.
Singer. He tried to be Conan, discount Conan, and it was fucking hilarious. But
I forgot the ferret died. Oh no, that's the state. Now you've reminded me about Artax in Neverending Story. Oh, pause.
well, that's
No.
yeah, but that's like top tier. Fucking. Do you want to get emotionally disturbed as a kid?
Never-ending Story.
Yeah.
Artax, no.
No, but I was just thinking of I'm trying to think of terrible cheesy movies that have more impact than this. And actually, you got to know the ferret. I can't remember the two ferret. You had two ferrets, remember? And
Yeah, but you've got to be honest. Do you know many movies that are cheesier than this?
that's what I'm saying. I'm going through my cheesy movie bank.
This is like
And
proper 1980s schlock. It's kind of like I think I've before this. I think this is like the third time I've seen this film. Watched it once myself. Watched it with someone else just to show them how bad it is, and then sent it to you. And I felt Colin's going to watch it. I suppose I should watch it as well.
oh dear. Yeah. So that was a scene. Not even a minute to get emotionally invested. Not even a minute to take a breath. I'm going to the next thing.
And the dog is gone.
Yep, I don't care because flashy lights. But yeah, we then have the end battles because they start up a train and get it trundling along for no reason whatsoever, just because we can have a fight on a moving train.
It's an action film. There's got to be a fight on a moving train. I mean, look at Bullet Train. That's an entire film that takes place on a speeding train.
Yeah, but that was funny.
This on rewatch, this is funny as well because just you know what's coming and you know what to expect. If you want real fun, watch the dubbed version.
No, God, no.
Ha ha! But I am here to defeat you, La Bella.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
You'll need the hard stuff and at least like from your local chippy, like a portion of chips with 2 battered sausages and curry sauce to get through that.
No, the
dear.
The movie that really put me off even trying dub movies was the the Devil and the Blacksmith, set in medieval Germany, dubbed with fucking Southern Californian accent.
As they always were. Oh, gee, yeah.
No, like you watch that movie, and for all intents and purposes, it was a decent movie. But you watch it dubbed, you can't go back. You can't. When you see 2 peasant kids in the middle of medieval Germany speaking, "Hey, bro, hey, dude," yeah, fuck off.
It's like surf's up, guys.
I can't do dub shit. I just can't.
It's why? They're getting better. They are getting better.
That's because they're all getting sacked because they're acting like tits.
Yeah,
and they've been caught out, and now they're like, no, we'll use AI instead. Fuck you.
There are some. It's like people like the people in America who are dubbing anime these days. They're taking some like lessons from their Japanese counterparts. And they're not just like reading the lines out. They're actually trying to put some character into them now. It's not like the old days where it's like, you have stabbed me. I am dying now.
But hold on. The second word in voice actor might be the clue.
Actor.
You still have the act. You still have to at least try.
It's like if you've ever seen any kind of like backstage footage from like dubbing studios in Japan, they are throwing themselves all over the place. Well, they're actually like they are acting out the scenes while they are doing them.
Yeah, it's the same as ADR. You have to, still be physical in the moment. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
And just because you're doing it from another language doesn't mean you don't get. You still got the thing playing. Like if you've ever seen an ADR studio, the thing's playing. So you still have to do it scene by scene and do it right. I just don't get these
terrible dubbing.
Absolute muppets. It's not audible. But yeah, we've
Fight,
got
yeah.
the explosion then at the end of the fight and in the closed tunnel. No consequences.
It's like no consequence whatsoever. They just kind of like pretty much just fall over, don't they?
My sister lost an eardrum
Ooh.
in Belfast. We got caught. One of the booms went off.
Mm.
And she stepped
Damn.
forward to the wall. I was just behind her. She got caught, the side of the head sort of thing with a concussion.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they were able to sort her out. She got like a vent thing, put in that actually got it fixed. She was flipping therapy for ages after it, but
Damn.
that's the concussive blast. We're nowhere near the actual explosion.
It's bad enough if you're on like a work site or something like that, and like you've got a big front loader and one of its tires bursts. That'll blow you over from like 15 feet away.
Yeah.
But it's like
concussive blasts and shockwaves are a thing. So this massive explosion goes off in a tunnel. Nobody gets a nosebleed.
Yeah,
nobody even gets a nosebleed.
It's like, what do they have to do to that flaming crab demon to kill it? My God, it's like he hits it with his sword. I'm pretty sure it gets set on fire or no, it gets hit with. He hits it with his sword. It gets hit with a hand grenade. It's standing on a live rail. It's tough.
But you think he's struggling, and that's like level 2, Barry.
He's only just left the starter zone and he's struggling already.
He's just finished the tutorial. He's into the first level, like, and he's struggling at this point. Yeah, but yeah,
and then it's like we're fine though. We're fine, really. We're okay. Quick, let's move on before more of these demons are brought in by this humongous great explosion, which attracts no other demons.
No, because nobody cares. It just happens, and the demons don't really do anything. They're not even running the city. The humans are just getting along in the city as if it's just a normal city.
Well, nothing's happening because Rabbi Ra hasn't made his incantation yet. We've got 2 days to go.
But 10 years ago, the demon was coming through. He's like, "No, boss, no, wait, I'll it's not quite ready for you yet. I'll get fuck off.
Just do it, damn it! Just do it.
Fuck right off."
It's like if you're gonna bring the demons in, bring the demons in. We're ready for you.
And if they hadn't even come through and got cut off by Genjutsu's sacrifice, fair enough. And then the demons were there and they took over the whole city. But this is absolutely silly. It's just daft.
It's like that. That's just it. It's like, yes, it's like I have defeated Genjutsu, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
It's like, that's it. The city is mine. I can do whatever I want. But I'm going to wait 10 years until his son's old enough to fight back. Even though his son doesn't really care because he thinks his dad's just buggered off and left him.
And nobody, like, there's a whole fucking cabal from the world. Like I said when you were offline there, the president of the world knows this is a demon city and it's going to be a demon incursion.
So the people.
So why not tell the kid who has the power? Oh my God, fucking Pacific Rim does a better job.
Plot. That's why. Plot, lack of.
We need some plot would be nice with us.
But it's kind of like it. God, it's kind of like the anime version of one of those choose your own adventure novels, is it? You have to try and guess what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
In this case, in the case of this anime, a really swanky hotel room.
In a sewer.
In a sewer.
This is as bad as the Phantom of the Opera.
It's
the Hammer version Steve and I covered. I mean, the most luxurious sewers ever.
Do you think maybe the person who wrote this was a fan of like the Phantom of the Opera, because it doesn't give you actually any kind of like background material on how she came up with this?
I think she's just seen like loads of stuff. Went, oh, shiny! I'll put that in. Oh, shiny! I think she's got ADD. This is an ADD movie.
Yeah, because it just jumps around. It jumps around all over the place with no reason between where it's jumping to or how it gets there.
And it doesn't care. And once again, at any point in this, like, what are we, about 3/4 away into this movie?
Yep.
We've got onto a train and no sense of dread whatsoever. And we haven't seen Robbie yet. You know, he hasn't even appeared yet. They've just gone into the city. Nothing's happened.
When he does turn up, all he does is like expelate. It's like, oh yeah, soon it will be this, and soon it will be the other, and by my sword, this and everything else. But he doesn't even turn serious until like he captures a certain someone. No spoilers. But
because that even that fucking plot device was like, that was painful. You're just like, oh, come on. That's what you're waiting for. No.
It's like huge bed, looks very comfortable, obviously like either satin or silk sheets. Beautiful woman who sleeps like a corpse
and completely comfortable lying beside him
on her back with her arms folded across her chest. You know, it's like because yeah. Mm-hmm. And where does our hero sleep?
No, on the floor, because here's the thing. There's another bit that does not fit with his character either.
Do you know
he's grabbing waitresses' arses for no reason?
Do you know why he sleeps on the floor? Do you know why he sleeps on the floor? Because he's embarrassed. Because he's actually a really nice, shy boy. He doesn't fit his character. Why is he sleeping on the floor? I mean,
God, what do you call that one with Kevin Spacey? American something.
Psycho?
American Beauty.
Oh, but
do you know the girl and it's like, oh, I fuck this one, I fuck that one, I did this, and I shagged this one, I took three at once.
I haven't seen it yet, yeah.
Oh, have you not?
That's all right. I don't mind spoilers, because by tomorrow morning I will have forgotten.
All right, well, there's one of the girls and she's done this, she's done that, she's done the other. And then when it comes down to it, she said, oh, this is my first time. You know, it's all bluff and bluster and...
Yeah.
So he's actually got, the chance to do the deed. And yeah, he's like, no.
He bottles it.
But he didn't even, no, but it's not even bottling it. It's the fact that there's bed's big enough. Just freaking turn your back, you silly bastard.
He does look really embarrassed. I like it the following morning when they wake up and she's like, oh, you fell off the bed, you silly boy. How did you sleep? Oh, I didn't actually. Ow, my neck. You know, it's.
If it was a tiny bed and they were cramped up together, I would get it. But this thing,
it's like that line. It's like, oh, you rolled off. Oh, you rolled off the bed. It's like Bombay mix everywhere. It's just. Oh God, the cringe. Oh, this film is.
Once again, what purpose did that scene serve? Is there any There's no romanticism between the two, or any hint of.
I honestly to God think that scene was put in there for a laugh. I really do.
I was already laughing.
I know that some horror films, some pretty good, really, really gory, visceral horror films, will have like a laugh in it, a funny moment, to like
a moment of levity.
Yeah,
we've talked about this.
Yeah, to let the tension, to level the tension. Yeah,
you lose the sensation, so you need the moment of levity to bring you back down, so the roller coaster can take you back up again. That's why you have,
it feels like one of those kind of things. But do you really need one in this movie? I mean,
They
maybe,
got me with the
maybe
music 30 minutes before. Like I was already busted. You know, I was a broken sofa when that cheesy music played, and then he was there to save the day.
it's
I was still laughing from that all the way through this movie. You know, that was it.
that's it's like it's. But the thing is, like, oh, it's a horror comedy. It's not. It is totally a serious horror.
No.
This is one of the films that almost got anime banned in the UK.
This one?
This one and Legend of the Overfiend, which is also horror.
What?
But I really
Oh god,
don't.
that is. I can understand Legend of the Overfiend. I can understand that.
I really don't recommend that because Legend of the Overfiend is worse than this.
That is pure tentacle porn.
It's Legend of the Overfiend is absolutely awful. Yeah, because you've got to understand it. It's got demons in it, and it's got a pentagram in it, and it's trying to, and it's like, even though it said like 18 on the side of the cassette, people were buying this for their children because yeah, it's a cartoon. What can it have in it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Vicar, but
silly. But that was the movie's fault.
Yeah, definitely the movie's fault, not the parents' fault. The fact that the parents are buying like 18s for their like 10-year-old children, and little Timmy had nightmares because of it. Nightmares from what? There's nothing in this. The only thing that's nightmare inducing in this is the music.
Yeah, that's
pretty much.
Yeah, that whole scene just didn't. Yeah, whatever.
It's just kind of like slapped in the middle. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Then we'll go for a wee walk.
Which is where our leading lady meets Mephisto.
Mm-hmm.
The edgelord in red. He's got great hair.
But there's another thing as well. He starts telling the story of Pandora. And that's where it confirmed to me this was made purely for Western audiences.
Because they have no such thing as the story of Pandora's box. Because Pandora's box is
Greek.
And I say it's either Greek or Roman, but Greek and Roman seems to be quite interchangeable.
No, it's one. Yeah, it's well, it's all part. You know, it's all part of the Mediterranean and cultures. Well, it's like our cultures. All our cultures mix up our myth and folklore because people travel between villages and stuff. And brought tales with them and settled and
people invade. But it's a really kind of weird analogy to make, isn't it? The story of Pandora, comparing I was going to call it Yakuza then. You've got like comparing Sayaka to Pandora and the box.
If she accidentally, once again, if it was a case of Rebo was locked up, say for example during the initial fight, Rebo was going to open the demon portal. And Kenshiro managed to seal him in a box that he couldn't complete the ritual and sacrifice his life. That would make sense. And they're trying to tempt Sarah to open the box and let him out. That would have made sense, and that would have actually fitted with some of the script.
That could have been. It's like she's been either seduced or possessed by a demon.
Well,
who's
we're going to get a film this year. Nosferatu. And I've seen the second trailer for it, and it looks interesting. Like Lily Rose Depp's really playing into it. She's actually taking it more. It's like they've taken a leaf from Winona Ryder playing Lucy, and they've turned it up to 11. So you could see Rebo calling to her because she, like the quickening. Because I'm not going to say the Force because this is a ripoff. This is a Highlander ripoff. They all have the quickening so they can sense each other, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's pulling them this place. And he's trying to tempt her to let him out to finish the ritual. But the fact that he's went, no, Sir Lord Demon, go back to bed. I haven't put the plush cushions out yet. Come back in 10 years. I know you can invade right now. Nobody's going to do anything about it. But no. Give me 10 years and I'll have a wee sleep here and plush the cushions up for you. Makes no freaking sense.
Things will be so much better in 10 years. They'll be amazing.
Yeah, demons love world peace. And
it's just kind of like, it's like, yes, I have defeated your greatest enemy. The one man who could defeat us is now dead.
but
So I'm
back
not going to
10
bring
years,
you out at this moment. You know, See, one of the things that makes this a terrible film is like lack of tangible plot. I will keep going back to the fact that the film has
none.
virtually no plot.
Zero.
It's like there's a beginning, there's an end, and the plot was lost somewhere between the two.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got it. I've got in the first scene when our hero turns around and slaps that waitress's bum. She was so surprised she dropped the plot.
If that had been, if that had destroyed his purity and opened a seal or something, that act
It's like
had opened the demon portal, that would have made more sense.
Finally, the minion has slapped the chosen one's butt. Let's invade.
The ritual is complete. Open the portal.
Right. There are so many ways. There are so many incredibly cheesy ways they could have done this that would have been better than what they gave us. I kind of still want to read the book just to see what the book's like.
It's morbid curiosity now than anything else.
It's kind of
how did it go from this to this? What?
It's kind of like when you're clearing your ear with a cotton bud, and it's like, can I go down a bit further? It's that kind of. I must read this book to see if I can like jab myself in the ear with it.
But once again, point is, the Pandora's Fable makes no sense. Is there not an equivalent Japanese fable? Can we not have a Japanese fable translated into English? It might be more suitable.
I shall ask Tinternet.
Like, honestly, that's why I'm saying this has just been shot out onto the screen for Westerners. Here, shitty Westerners, you can have this. You can't. We'll not give you our real anime. You can have this instead.
Apparently, no. There is no Japanese equivalent of Pandora's box.
Well, not Pandora's. Pandora's box doesn't fit with us. That's the point. What would? But then again, there's no plot, so I suppose there's nothing. They could just throw anything in, which they have done.
Maybe it's maybe the novel is so confusing that the author felt the need to like grab something that is like, grounded in mythology to actually like come in there and say, oh yes, she's like this, or this person is like this, or it's like she doesn't understand it, but by going to fight Rabbi Ra, it's like she's risking opening Pandora's box.
Rabbi Ra could have been in a coffin representing Pandora's box, and he's called Sayaro to the place. And then, guess what? President of the world talks to Floaty Man. It's like, we must get her back, but he's holding off the rose tentacles. Oh, I know. I'm sorry I've never approached you before, but you need to go rescue her because she's a way to go and free him, and this will end the world.
So I've just remembered that my pupil who I sent to defeat Rabbi Ra in the first place, because I didn't go that time either, he's had a son. Wouldn't it be odd if, without his father's guidance in all these years, he's learnt Mempo? It's the entire film just appears to be like a series of coincidences.
Like, we've written a better plot just talking shite here. Online, like, and it's not even rewriting the entire movie. It's just changing a few bits around and going, that makes sense. With
some of this stuff, it's very easy to do. But it's like I say, there was so much stuff coming out in the 80s. There was as much bad stuff as there is good stuff. It's like today. It's like if a manga or a novel is created, no matter how good or how bad it is, some animation studio will go out there and offer silly amounts of money to produce an anime of it.
Just because they have to make something?
Yeah, just because it's like, oh my God, this is new. It could be the next big thing. But it's like I say, there's Demon City Shinjuku. Apparently, there's a sequel to it, which is volume 2 of the book. Volume 2 of the books. The other 5.
Would it be funny if that was amazing?
Would you like me to see if I can find it out?
It'd be funny if that turned out to be absolutely epic.
I may have to find it and watch it and let you know.
This is one of those. Oh god,
Where
we're
would
gonna
I
have
look?
to, aren't we?
Where would I look for it? It's hard enough to find
Flea,
this.
welcome to the channel, mate. This is what happens to you. This is what happens.
Dude,
We'll go down
it's
so many rabbit holes of random
it's
movies because
fine. It's fine if it gets really,
we'll have
really
to
bad.
know.
I can always gnaw my foot off.
Yeah, this is we'll have to know now. It's like we'll have to know.
What's it called? Demon Palace Babylon or something along those lines.
God,
It's come on with a name like that. It can't be that bad.
I guess we're going to find out at some point if we can. God, I didn't think I was setting myself up for this after watching this one, but yeah, we've got Water Demon as well. Just randomly turns up.
Yeah, apparently Crab is Earth Demon, so now we've got Water Demon, the one who I call Strange Bird Bat Lady.
Yeah, but she can put you to sleep, which is like, yeah, sign me up. I'll have some of that.
That is such a great ability. You've got to be honest. I think she honestly, she didn't have to be a villain. She could be the hero of the piece.
Well, you can turn up and put me to sleep and switch my brain off first.
It's like you're having a bad time.
Please. You're welcome. What portal do I need to open? And you're welcome. God, my brain switches on the minute my head hits the pillow, and I'm just getting to that point. My brain just goes, ping. Here's 100 things you haven't done yet.
It's like, are you going to sleep? Yes, I'm going to sleep. Why don't fish drown? Oh, go away! Yeah, yeah. It's great. It's great when like Mr. Brain decides to like you don't need sleep. You don't need sleep at all. Here,
you can just be tired all the time. That's fun. Never be rested and refreshed. Just be tired constantly.
Right, that's a lot of good.
But yeah, that's where we'll have this whole falling in the water, fake skater boy. He wakes up. I love the way that they don't know that he was fake. And they completely forgive him when he pops up later.
That is another thing that does not make sense. It's like this he's just lured them into this puddle, basically. Yeah. And it's like when he wakes up, but he wakes up back in his his hammock.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
And he's like, yeah, but it's the fact he wakes up in his hammock and he's like absolutely saturated, dripping water, and he's like, man, I've wet myself. How do you wet yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? My God, that kid must have an impressive bladder.
Yeah, it's like,
and it's like you say, they just meet with him. It's like, I'm back. Oh, welcome back. Yeah.
We'll totally trust you because none of that happened.
You'll be sad to know that I cannot find a copy of Demon Palace Babylon anywhere.
Oh dear. Might have to be a stand by as we do our road trip to Tokyo.
That's it.
Oh God, Jonathan was over there like 3 months ago. We could have like while you're over there, mate.
Yeah, we can go looking for it in Shinjuku. Just as long as we avoid the demons, it'll be fine.
God, I've only done this before. Jonathan went over to Tokyo. Like, here, there, pick me up this.
I'm gonna be honest. Do you know? I'm so glad we didn't.
Yeah, that's
I'm tempted. I'm tempted to like just to see if I can find some clips of it, just to see what it's like.
Yeah, but once again, a clip doesn't really tell you. Like this, you could watch a clip of this movie and think it's all right. But it's the some of the parts, like this is a disjointed mess.
I don't know, because it's like I was looking to see if I could find that amazing disco fight soundtrack earlier. So I could post it in your Discord, and I couldn't find it. There are plenty of clips of Demon City Shinjuku, and no, I couldn't find a good clip.
It's been buried. The sequel must have been worse. That people committed seppuku over it. The entire writing team.
It's just the fact that there's a sequel. I didn't know that there was a sequel. There's no third one.
Who makes this and decides there needs to be a sequel?
Like I say, they'll buy anything and turn it into an anime just in case it's the next huge big thing. So it's like they'd release this, they'd release the sequel. If this didn't make any money, they'd risk the sequel. If the sequel didn't make any money, then that's when they took it off. Because you have to remember, this would have been shown on the big screen in the cinema, even though it's only 80 minutes long. Because they queued around the streets for Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue. If you haven't seen Perfect Blue, watch Perfect Blue.
Check out our review, by the way, it's on the
Blue.
channel. I need to make a playlist at this point of horror anime. I was tidying up the playlist earlier on because I've like loads of them on the channel. So that's a new playlist that needs to be made because we're a few streams in now. It's going to be a thing. But yeah. Then we end up in the cemetery. I can't remember how we ended up in the cemetery or what the purpose of going to the cemetery was.
I've got to be honest. I thought I must have blinked or fallen asleep for a minute or a moment, because apparently the way he got into the cemetery was he walked in through like the glowing gate. But I don't actually remember him. I remember him like falling asleep, but I don't remember him going through the gate.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, you're now in a cemetery. Have it. Like I said, Sleep Demon turns up.
Yeah, because it was
Please,
like
come here.
And it was because it's like it's like Sayaka. Damn, it's not Sayaka. It's Sayaka. Sayaka kind of.
You're
like,
thinking of Sayoro, weren't you?
I was thinking Sadako.
Samara, you were thinking Samara.
It's like Sadako appears, and the film suddenly becomes much more interesting. It's like Sayaka walked.
Sorry, Sadako's the
Sadako is the character from The Ring.
Oh, sorry, Sadako is Japanese. Samara is the Western adaptation one.
Because I may have brought a statue of Sadako to sit on top of my computer. It won't arrive till next year, but oh well. But yeah, she walked into. God, did she go into the graveyard with Skater Kid or Edgelord?
No, Edgelord only turned up to tell the Pandora story, and then he buggered off again.
Oh, so she goes into the graveyard with Skater Kid, because Skater Kid says like, oh yeah, one of the random drunks around here has told me that they saw a guy with a wooden sword go through that gateway yesterday. So they go in to find him, and they meet the creepiest kid in anime.
Mama.
It's not the character itself it's scary, it's the scowl. The look on that kid's face.
The bottom lip and not the jaws. Like, when the kid bit her, I honestly thought she was going to get like a limb removed.
But no, she just kind of went, "Ah, you bitch," and pushed her away.
And then set off a whole sequence of events because reasons.
Yeah, it's another of those scenes that doesn't quite make sense, isn't it? There's quite a lot of them in this film.
It sounds like this was a 20-minute episode. They'd actually written a 20-minute episode of a series, and they went, "No, we need a full movie." What? Oh, we're only doing the pilot episode. No, it was actually meant to be a movie. Oh, right. So we need more stuff then. Right. By the way, you know this is screening tomorrow. Oh,
it's like normally if you take that, like it's quite often where they'll take a television series, they'll condense it down into a movie and then put it on the big screen for the fans. But those films they're normally like 2.5 going on 3 hours long. It's like this is like 80 minutes, and it's like I actually like I know what they've done. They went into the cutting room and threw the wrong bits away.
Yeah, swept the bits, the actual plot up.
I think I accused Alien Resurrection of doing that as well.
Is it bad that movie makes more sense than this? They're just start, middle, and end at least.
It is really, isn't it? It's like when you can turn around to a film and say, you know what, this makes Alien Resurrection look good.
When I watched Terrifier 3 last night, and
I watched the review earlier. Yep,
that had more emotional draw than this.
It's like,
and that's a cheesy slasher.
It's like oh, it's like you're watching this and it's like, oh, the cat's dead, oh, the dog's dead, and then you remember Beastmaster, you're like, oh, poor ferret.
Yeah, it's
I honestly think, with no knowledge of like actually physically making anime, I could make a better anime than this. Or at least I can make one that made a bit more sense than this.
yeah, it's bad.
It's kind of like it's I think it's obvious that I'm going to say it's like it must be a film for the fans. It must be a film for the fan of the books, because it's like you can make a film of a book, be it like an animated film or a live action film. You can make a film of a book, miss huge chunks of the book out, and people like the fans will automatically slot that piece into it.
No, because maybe in the 80s. No, there'd still be backlash. How many times you've seen an adaptation or something and you're like, no, piss
Like,
off.
they've missed this piece out. Yeah, but what kind of people would be reading this book? I mean, it's kind of like maybe this book series was kind of like the 1980s equivalent of Twilight.
Oh God.
I think they should. I think they should have missed more.
Or I was thinking
more
Hunger
out of the
Games. You
film.
know, it's the equivalent of meeting anime's version of Hunger
Oh,
Games fans.
God, Hunger. My problem with Hunger Games is that every book tells the same story.
Yeah, just rinse and
with
repeat.
slightly different words.
Yep. She got away with it.
That's all they get away with it in this. I mean, it's
No, this
spoilers.
is this talk horror. This is Scream. This is the equivalent of Scream.
I still think that's an insult. I'm sure it's like,
hold
no,
on. They're
like,
talking about for the next movie,
like,
which isn't coming out now until 2026.
yeah.
Right, and they've only had like 6 years at the moment to work on it. They still
It's
haven't
been
got a full
6
script
years.
yet.
Jesus.
Yeah, because they've been dicking
Wow.
about. So they
I
still
think-
haven't got a script written
Right.
for it. Okay, it's coming out in February 2026. They
Right,
finally nailed
yeah.
down a date and they still haven't got a script.
Wow.
But they're talking about bringing back one of the two main villains that was killed. Like we watched get killed in the first one, and Scream fans.
Yeah.
And do you know what's funny is, do you know the modern day Scream fan weren't around when Scream came out?
Wow.
I went to the cinema.
Like,
I've been there.
It's like you say this is better than Scream, right? Watershed moment. If someone
No, I'm saying it's I'm trying to think of equivalent of the
I was gonna say,
fandom
if
that you
someone
can't
had-
talk to.
yeah.
who-
I don't actually know if this actually has a fandom anymore. Because it's kind of like I say, I had to scrape around the bowels of the internet to find a copy of it.
No, what I'm saying is,
I'm a bad lad. I deserve a wrist slap. But
you try to. If you met what a Demon City Shinjuku fan, it'd be equivalent to trying to talk to a Scream fan. You'd be like, "Why do you like us?" Because I do, and you're a big poopy pants. That's the sort of answer you get.
It's amazing. It's like, what's amazing about it? Oh my God! If you can't see what's amazing about this, you don't understand art.
Yeah, word soup, round in circles, word soup, round in circles, and they don't answer the question.
It's like right. It's not a good film. Do I think it's worth watching? Yes, because everyone should kind of like, go through the experience of this film at least once.
Yeah, this is if you want to get brought, like I said, we were having a good run with anime movies. And are they all good? This good? Hold on a minute. There's got to be some bad ones.
Oh, there are plenty of bad ones. Trust
and that's
me.
what I mean. That's what you got to do.
Right. Most of the bad ones, most of the really, really bad ones you will find are all from like this era, the late 80s, early 90s. Because it's actually like horror, like it's like horror anime. The amount of horror anime that's being made has like it's shrunk quite a lot. But it's kind of like, it's not so much shrunk, it's condensed. So it's like you're getting.
I think you lost you there. I think the internet got.
Which is basically someone.
I think you're cutting out, Flea.
Hello?
There, I think you're back. Right, we got as far as condensed, and then you cut out.
Oh, damn it. My
my
amazing super fast new internet is being a pain. Right, it's kind of like they've there's not as much horror being released today as there was back in the 80s, but it's kind of like they've condensed it down and it's all good stuff. There's very little bad horror anime being made these days. But because it's like today, it's like they moved on to a different genre. Today, everything is isekai, which is like a guy gets killed in this world, gets reincarnated in another world with superpowers and saves the world.
Okie dokie.
And
Like every time
everything,
travel movie.
yeah, everything that belongs to that genre is it's like I say, everything that belongs to that genre is being turned into something now. Where back in the 80s and the early 90s, it was horror. So there are plenty of howlers out there.
Oh, sure. This is something else, honestly. So we go to the cemetery. That happens. We wake up again.
Yeah, I quite like the end of the cemetery scene. There's a certain little bit of sweetness at the end of the cemetery scene, where like all the souls are falling down and landing on their remains. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like, it's just a bit sad that it's like stuck in the middle of this.
That would have been a good movie in itself.
Yeah.
You know, that would have been a good movie in itself, just going through that and releasing the souls. I don't know, were the souls trapped to feel the device which is holding open the portal?
No,
we'll not do that. That would make too much sense. We'll not do that. No.
It's like they were just angry because they died there.
Yeah, okay, but
And by walking into like that wall of flame, it's like Sayaka made them all happy again.
oh, you mean like Poltergeist?
Yeah, it's like the wall. It's like don't walk
go
into the light.
Caroline.
It's like, yes, walk into the light.
Talking about shit movies. Have you seen the remake?
Oh,
the
Jesus.
2015 remake of Poltergeist?
No, I deliberately avoided it.
Oh god, that was
because it's kind of like I've got to be honest.
That was painful.
It got a bit tatty towards the end, but I actually do kind of like the Poltergeist series. I still think the original Poltergeist is the first one.
Yeah, part 2 was a good sequel. Really,
Yes.
did a good effort, but it doesn't help when your main actor dies mid-filming. You know, it kind of throws the spanner in the works, and the kind of
cursed film, or so they say. Cursed.
Oh yeah, of course.
Almost as cursed as Demon City Shinjuku, to be quite honest.
This was paying back a demonic debt, wasn't it? You will make this movie.
It was like, I actually think
this was the sacrifice.
It's like this. Somebody must have really hated someone. I think because it's like, if this kind of thing was released today, be it over in the East, over in the West, Hollywood, whatever, could be career ending.
Yeah. Which is, I'm surprised that well. Then we'll get to the final fight scene.
It's my favorite part of the film. And not just because it's right at the end. It was like, come on, what a great fight. What a great fight.
Bum, 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 bum,
the music was almost like do you
remember Howard the Duck, the movie?
Pardon, sorry?
Do you remember Howard the Duck, the movie?
Yes.
Bum, bum, bum. Howard the Duck. See, no one can believe it.
How much better would this film have been if like the demon portal had opened and a giant Howard the Duck would have walked out? I mean, this is after Ghostbusters, isn't it?
Yeah, so instead of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, it was Howard the
Duck.
Howard the Duck. Whack, whack, whack. Yeah, you know one of them toy ducks? Whack, whack, whack. No, if it had been Psyduck out of Pokemon.
Oh.
But it became Demon Psyduck.
Can you imagine the chaos? Oh,
and do you know what? We wouldn't have noticed because this movie is all over the place anyway.
It's the final fight scene made me. It was another one of those bits that made me laugh because I understand it's supposed to be. I understand it's supposed to be one of those epic, like, you know, samurai duels where it's like ching, a single sword slash and that's it. The foe collapses in a heap. But that's at the end. We've got the first bit where they're trading blows. And everything goes bad because our hero stabs Rabira with his wooden sword, which goes straight through him, and his sword just crumbles into dust.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rabira just basically kicks him down the massive great trench that surrounds Shinjuku. Even though moments before, I'm sure they were in the middle.
Yeah, but don't worry about that.
It's
Magic.
Magic, space magic, demon magic, and very soft grass.
Yes. And the fact that he finds his father's corpse would have been useful to have there. Still in the suit, and the sword in his hand or something.
Yeah, but it's like it's almost like when he finds the sword sticking out of a pile of rubble. I'm pretty sure it's got like a coating of stone or something around it because it definitely ain't wood. Also, why do these heroes always fight with wooden swords?
It's the whole idea. I do not need to draw a blade. Sort of. That's fucking stupid.
But oh god, that last fight, it's oh so slightly underwhelming, isn't it?
It just meh. It's like the whole movie. It's like, why is this movie happening?
Because somebody
Answers on a
thought it.
postcard, folks.
Somebody thought it would be a good idea to spend the money to make it.
Like, we even nicked the demons out of Highlander. the quickening demons.
Yeah.
If Saruku had went, I know everything. I have the power. I can feel people. I know all. They may as well have replicated that scene.
The film would have been. I wonder if the author was like a Highlander fan.
The author liked the TV series, even though TV series hadn't been out then.
I'm sorry, someone who enjoyed the TV series.
Yeah, if anyone's going to enjoy this TV series, it was the creator of this absolute pile of shite.
But it just I won't go as far as to call it a pile of shite. But it is not out of your foray with horror anime, not the best one you've seen.
It's not even a good. Like, I've seen some terrible movies.
That is a bit. Yep. How does it handle up towards, like,
This is. This is like one of them random artsy fartsy pieces that you watch and you go, why?
Yeah, it's kind of because
there's a movie Cameron and I reviewed called The Measure of the Sin. It's on par with that.
That sounds far too arty for me.
Oh, it was artsy fartsy to hell, and it was dumb as. It's on par with that.
But it's like I'd like to try and find, even if it's a really, really bad copy, I'd like to try and find a copy of the sequel to this, just to see if the sequel adds anything more to this, because there's like this. It's like there's so much missing between the individual scenes. It's kind of like, it's like, how long has this movie got to be? 80 minutes. Oh damn! This is like, it's like 2.5 hours long. This is.
What have we got then about the studio that was?
It's like we'll just cut the bits that we don't need out and just like have the fight scenes and maybe a bit of running. It's like it literally is. It's like it's all the fight scenes with none of the story in between.
It does feel like a music video. This has the sort of God, what was that one? It was one of the Love, Death, and Robots ones. It was basically a music video, and it's kind of got that feel, except that one makes more sense. This is like an anthology.
Can you imagine if
they're trying to tie it all together? But
can you imagine if someone made a music video of this where they just cut most of it out and put just clips in it? Would it make more sense or less sense?
If they dubbed it over with the soundtrack from the Transformers movie. But make Ravi the hero.
Is that like the animated Transformers movie?
Yes, of course.
That's all right. That's all right then.
There is no other. You're not talking about fucking Michael Bay shit, are you?
I'm not a massive fan of Transformers. It's Andy you need to talk to for that.
Yeah. The original animated. There is only one Transformers movie, and that's the 1986 animated movie.
I've only seen that once.
I've seen that too many times to count. But yeah, that would actually fit if somebody did a mashup of that. But had Robbie be Optimus Prime, the actual hero, and just just twisted that way, this would be funny. But yeah, it just made no sense. There's no motivation for any of this to happen. None of the characters have actually any rapport with each other, apart from Old Man and like those two are in love.
Oh
Old
yeah,
Man
but
and President of the World
glowy man, blue glowy man, and the president of the world.
are a proper couple. They are in love with each other.
They're the kind of thing where it's like the kind of like it's all over, it's finished. Clasp fists in like the classic muscle pose.
He was cuddling him. That was a proper cuddle. Like all President had to do is stick his thumb in his mouth and like cuddle into him more, and him pat his head. That's all that needed.
Maybe he's distraught because like he's like those thorns have disappeared. Maybe it dropped him on his head. I've no idea.
The rider was dropped in her head.
I think a lot of people got dropped on the heads during the making of this.
A lot of people beating their own heads. I'm actually right. I'm making this. What? They're reading the script going, what?
I've got to be honest. If I was walking up a stairwell and I saw this film coming the other way, I would trip it up. It's like,
yeah.
It's not the greatest horror anime I've ever seen. I've got to be honest. I'm not because it's aged so badly. I'm not even sure if you can still call it horror.
It wasn't horror to begin with. There's nothing. 3 shock jock scenes does not make a horror movie. There is no tension. Like there's no tension in this.
I think
there's no stakes. It's not even a movie.
I think anime or live action, you could hold this up as like the perfect example of something is being sold up as a horror movie. It's as horrific as like Magic. In fact, no, Magic Roundabout is way scarier than this.
Oh, Magic! If you have had a few beers and you watch the Magic Roundabout, you are freaking out.
It's like, I mean, In the Night Garden is scarier than this, but In the Night Garden is honestly scarier than most things.
Yeah, no, but even trying to say this is a story, horror or not, this is not a story.
It's just random scenes with just the occasional shock.
That's it. And honestly, if that's what Shinjuku looks being run by demons, it's not really any different from anywhere else. So
I was going to say it's like Demon City Birmingham.
Yeah, Birmingham's worse.
The streets there wasn't as many burnt out cars there as there was in Birmingham.
Yeah.
The last time I was there.
People were able to park their cars and they were keep the hubcaps.
And so I think most of the cars had tires. So wow.
Yeah.
It's a thumbs down.
Oh, without a doubt.
Oh no, that's it. The first thumbs down. We've got to find something.
Not happy at all.
I've got to find something fresh and interesting now to like
anything will be better than this.
Restore Colin's
the bar's so low.
Anime.
This is.
Oh wait, didn't you say because it's because you're a massive fan of it, even though it's from the same writer, Vampire Hunter D next?
Yeah, I think we'll have to have a crack at that.
Same author, same director. The guy who directed this also did Vampire Hunter D.
That'll be fun to actually compare.
It's because it's like I remember Vampire Hunter D as being absolutely amazing. Wow, this has always been like, bad.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll see what happens.
But it's not bad, it's worse.
Yeah, God, this is the thing.
So,
but I would say, folks, you have to check us out just to go, what? It's not even that long. Like 80 minutes. Like
just to go, why? But please don't send us hate mail after you've watched it. Please don't.
No, it's just a case of why was this made? Where were the checks and balances to go, nah, don't make this. Don't put this out there. Oh well, there you go. Flea, Thanks as always. This is all
I
fun.
didn't expect at the end. I didn't expect you to thank me for that.
That was funny. You know, it is funny to talk about. You need to see something terrible and just talk about it and go, why? And at least you know you're not going insane when everyone else is going, why?
You've got to have a bad film after a good film, because you can't really talk about good films.
We've had two good a run lately.
Honestly, if it's something like really good, you want people to watch it, so you don't go strong on the spoilers. But because this is like absolute dross, you can go as far into the spoilers as you want to, because it's that bad
to spoil.
It's that bad that people shouldn't watch it. It's kind of
it won't make a difference.
It's one of those anime that should, it should just be allowed to like sink under the water and settle itself on the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Never to be found again. Sacrifice it to the volcano.
No, this is a case study. This is a case study on how not to make anything. Anything. No, just if you think you're going to make something, watch so you don't make this.
It's nice. In a way, it's nice to watch, because you can sit there and you can like convince yourself that you would be an amazing film director, because anything you could do to this would make it better.
Yeah. But there you go. Yeah, that was fun. We will be back again with. I think we're going to go for the Vampire Hunter D. We'll get
Vampire Hunter D.
That's going to be on it. Yep. So there you go, folks. Thanks for everyone that tuned in and was in the chat. Those of you that were there but didn't say hello, don't be afraid to. We will say hello back. And until next time, keep updated with the channel, do the type of clicky things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.